Hello again, wrestling fans, and welcome to this week's edition of AIWF Ringside Wrestling. If you're watching on Facebook, we're live. It's April 30th, last day of the month, and we're coming to you on Facebook. It'll be up later on YouTube and all your favorite podcast platforms. I am Mad Matt Carter, being joined by Commissioner Rick Diesel and AIWF Hall of Famers Brian and Reagan Danzig, I guess would be the best way to say
yeah,
it.
I guess.
I thought about that earlier. And so how's everybody doing?
Hungover.
All right, awesome.
I'm just
We're a little.
it's been a while since I've been in this seat during this show, because we was off for a couple of weeks, and then I was coming back from Kansas, and that was an interesting trip.
Yeah,
to say the least.
yeah. And some people from yesteryear have come back and have contacted us, and that's been quite the interesting thing. I'm not going to go into details here.
Oh, because I don't know this.
Yes, you do.
No, I do know this. Yeah, I do.
Yes, you do.
And I have to tell you, as soon as you told that, I told my two counterparts from back in the day about that. So
I would be interested, maybe off air, and hearing about what one of those particular counterparts had to say.
oh yeah. So.
But anyway, so we're glad to have you with us, folks. And
Just so you know, everybody watches the show.
yeah, oh, they do. Well, hey, Vera. So,
No, she does.
I don't know about them.
No, not them.
oh,
I guess the person who. Yeah.
okay.
Innuendo.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so if you hear background noise, they are having the NHRA 4-wide nationals over at the drag strip, and I'm about a half mile from it as the crow flies. So even with the
Oh my
studio
God.
door shut and all that kind of stuff.
You did find your little piece of heaven, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I'm telling you, man, being a race fan, I am at ground zero. And that was part of the reason I moved to Concord, because I love wrestling and I love racing, and the hub of it in North Carolina is just right around me. So, you know, I can go on Saturday night, I can go basically probably less than 50 miles in any direction and find a race or a wrestling match that I want to go to, to go to. So it's
You just sit out on the front porch and sip sweet tea and listen to the cars run.
yeah, it's pretty cool. So, but most of the time when NASCAR's in town, I'm over there right in the middle of it. So, but anyway, that aside, it's been an interesting week in wrestling. We're getting close to the big show coming up on May 6th, next Saturday at Veterans Park. I cannot wait. I am so excited to see what's going to happen. And we are going to start, unless something changes, and I've got a graphic to show you. We'll get to it in a bit. The Dangerous Don Carson Memorial Tag Team Tournament is going to start up the 2023 edition.
Yeah,
This is like the 4th or 5th year, ain't it?
Something like
How
that.
many years have we been doing this?
That would be a Mickey Fulp question, because he's got a photographic memory when it comes to these things. I think he can name off the winners every year. So I'm definitely excited for this. So we kick off the tournament, and we know, and Rick Diesel, you and I have talked about this before. Sometimes when you have one night tournaments, it's not very fan friendly, and so what we do with the Carson tournament is we generally spread it out over a few shows. And
Yeah.
then the last show in July, I think, is generally when we have the semis and the finals. So we don't do it as a one night tournament. It's spread over a few weeks, and we hope you fans will come out and see
One night tournaments get monotonous. They have to watch the same people,
Mhm.
for like 3 matches, and that's just not what wrestling fans enjoy. There's too many people who tries to do these one night tournaments, and they don't understand why they're not received better than they are. Well, that's why.
Yeah. If you even go back to like when the WWF started putting the King of the Ring on pay-per-view, like in 93, like the first time, it was unique. So it was kind of cool, and of course, but then in 94, that's generally panned as one of the worst pay-per-views of all time. And then after that, they started doing more of the, I don't want to say prelim, that's not the word I'm looking, early round matches like on Raw. And then when you got to the pay-per-view, it was the semifinals and the finals, and then they just loaded up the card with other championship matches. And I have to admit, I like those a whole lot better.
Yeah, that's the way it should be run.
The bunkhouse, but the They were over several nights and several shows too, right? The Bunkhouse Stampede.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that traveled around.
Well, that was a no holds barred battle royal, and they took that all around the territory. Now the Crockett Cup.
That's what I'm talking. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, a little quick history on that. Now, the first year they had it in New Orleans, and they had 2 separate sessions. They had a 2:30 p.m. session, and then they had a 7 p.m. session. And I've heard Cornette talk about how that when they went down there for that, it was like it didn't draw that well. I mean, it was a good crowd, but not nearly what they had hoped for in the Superdome. And they knew the Mid-South territory was dying because, you know, it looked like a piss hole in a snowbank was the expression he used for the crowd. But then in 87, they moved the tournament to Baltimore and did the first night on Friday and the second night on Saturday, and did really well in 87. And then the last one was, I don't know if you guys remember this, but they did the first night in Greenville, South Carolina. And then the second night was in Greensboro at the Coliseum. And I've seen that video. I mean, it was a good crowd, but it was nothing like they would do like at Bash or at Starrcade or anything like that. You know, if you've ever been in the Greensboro Coliseum, and even before they remodeled it, there's a lot of seats to fill in that building. It seats a lot of people. So, but yeah, so that's how they did that. And then, well, after that, JCP went out of business. So that was the end of the Crockett Cup as we knew it. However, the NWA has brought it back. And it's my understanding that they're going to hold a 2-night Crockett Cup tournament in Winston-Salem this year. So I don't know what the location is, but I'm starting to see the publicity photos come out for it. So
Dude, that would be, I would like to, I haven't seen it. How did you tell me about that? I'd like to go to that.
yeah, I don't know. It's going to be on Friday and Saturday, but I don't know when it's going to be exactly. So you have to do a little Google search, and if anybody
It's so strange how wrestling has changed. I remember, this is an old, like, because it's no fun getting tickets anymore, like to wrestling show, big wrestling shows. Because like back when me and my friends, we would do it like for Fall Brawl, the year that it was the Horsemen versus the NWO. We got a tent and we spent the night at the Winston-Salem at LGVM.
LGVM Coliseum, Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial.
Yeah.
And we spent the night all night, like, and we were like the 5th group in line. And that's what we did. We spent all night there waiting for tickets. And I was just thinking about how much life has changed now with tickets and getting tickets. It's just not as fun.
Yeah, now you just go on Ticketmaster and click what you want, and you put it on your phone, and they scan it when you go in the door. It's just not the same. Yeah, you're right. It's changed a lot.
Well, that and the fact that I don't care how big of a show is, you just don't know how many tickets were given away.
Yeah.
I
mean, you know what I'm saying?
I think we show that for some stuff. How many times I win tickets to certain things.
Oh yeah.
But we do it. I mean, sometimes we do that, you know, for like, because where we run twice a month, every once in a while, we'll just give away a bunch of bleacher seats.
Yeah.
You know, just to say, hey, thank you for paying for those tickets for so long. You know, and continuing to come to the shows every 2 weeks. So we'll just give away a bunch of bleacher seats.
And there's no shame in papering indie promoters. I have actually encouraged Rick Diesel to do it probably more than he wants to. But it's like, why don't you give me 100 tickets? Let me just take them to downtown Mount Airy and put them out everywhere. So, there's no shame in papering. So, and it gives people a chance. Think about it from the fans' perspective. Okay, I like wrestling, but I don't know if I want to go see this. It's a bunch of people I don't know, you know, because they're independent wrestlers, and they come in there and they like it. They're going to come back, you know, then they'll pay for a ticket, and they're going to buy concessions while they're there. So if you're out there and you're promoting shows and you think, man, I don't want to pay for it, it might actually help you out in the long run. So, you know, thoughts, opinions on that.
A lot of times the same people don't get the free tickets every time. I said a lot of time.
A lot of time. Hey, I'm going for my 4-peat this year.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll see if Reagan can win tickets to WrestleCade again this year. And, make it 4 times in a row. So,
That's the
oh,
only way I'll go.
so have you guys seen the I don't know what way to put it. It's another Twitter debacle going on right now regarding wrestling and Britt Baker and a t-shirt that has come out.
Oh, Britt Baker in a
Is this her
t-shirt.
black
Please
eye?
tell me it's wet.
Is it
No.
the black eye t-shirt?
Yes, it is. I'm going to try to pull it up so I can show everybody that's
I know it's on Soraya's Twitter. Her and the whoever her little group are. There's a picture of her
Look,
wearing it.
Yeah,
I
they
know
have,
for a fact that Britt Baker's old man could beat me within an inch of my life and not break a sweat, but it'd almost be worth
right.
it.
This is the t-shirt that's causing all the controversy. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yes.
I saw when it came out last night. I thought it was kind of weird.
That's a mock-up.
Well, it's supposed to be taken in the dressing room after she got beat
I
up
mean, that's
by-
a mock-up t-shirt.
Yeah.
Is it even a real
Just a-
t-shirt?
Just a printed off picture.
Well,
Yeah, somebody just mocked that up and put it on there. If you'll ever notice when people do t-shirts, because you know where we have the t-shirt thing and Tim Dolan has t-shirt thing, you'll take a t-shirt and you can make that t-shirt. You'll notice we do it sometimes for the t-shirts we do. We're doing mock-up where to show people what it would look like when we make it.
yeah, it hadn't come
That's
out
a
yet.
mock-up. That's not, that right there is not a real t-shirt. Now that might be a t-shirt somebody's making, but that personally is not a real t-shirt.
Well, let me do this then. Let's go to, and a lot of people these days will do those mock-ups, because they hadn't made the shirt yet and they want,
Right. They're filling it out to see if it'll sell.
yeah. Let's see here. Let me see if it's on their shop page. Hang on just a second.
Well, yeah, because I don't know, because like Soraya had a picture up 4 days ago of her little group wearing it.
So they have made some.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there
But
was a
they
guy.
may have made them themselves. Because yeah.
Let's see here. I'm on Shop AEW right now, and I'm going to see. Yeah, it's there. $29.95. Yeah, and it's the same picture. It's
Is
the
it?
same mock-up picture. Yeah. Okay. So, very interesting. But people are saying that it encourages domestic violence and all kinds of different shit. And I
How'd
can.
she get the black eye?
She got beat up by Soraya and her group and Chris Jericho. I'm
She married to either one of them?
no,
No.
Living with either one of them?
nope.
No.
Why in the hell's people call it domestic violence? Shut
Because
up.
you know how Twitter is.
Because they are. Well,
Yeah.
I remember.
Bunch
Well-
of virtue signaling pussies, if you ask me. And that's what Britt Baker called them. Not as those are not my words, those are hers. And so, well, no, she didn't exactly say that. She said, well, if it was a guy with a shirt with a black eye, would you guys be pissed?
Mhm.
Something like that. And I will say to somebody that's not a wrestling fan, like if I wore that thing over to the race in Charlotte, I'm sure it would spark some conversation like, hey man, what's the deal with that shirt? Do you know that girl? And I'd explain, no, it's a wrestling thing, and people would be okay, whatever. I see where as people outside the wrestling bubble would not understand that shirt. But if you're trying to get the shirt taken down, they're wanting $30 a piece for that. And part of that goes in her pocket. So my whole thing is who the hell do you think you are to prevent somebody from making a buck? If she's cool with it, then it's her face, right? I mean,
Right.
am I wrong in thinking that?
No,
No, you're not. Oh, by the way, Matt, we got viewers from North Wilkesboro and Knoxville, Tennessee.
Awesome. North Wilkesboro, man, one of my favorite towns we used to run shows in. I don't know if we had TV presence back there in the 90s, man, but they would always turn up when we
They
went to
always
Auburn.
come.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Love
getting back to
But
Black
yeah,
Eyed
it's
Susan.
like- well, I have a not about a t-shirt, but back in the day when I was wrestling, I had a black eye, and Brian and I went to a place on Main Street in Mount Airy to eat, and the woman came and she looked at and Brian ordered his drink and she set his drink down very angrily and like gave him hell the whole time because I had this black eye. So I could see where outside of wrestling, when you see a woman with a black eye, you assume that.
Mhm.
But like within the wrestling community, it's like, I mean, it's her book. It's her decision. It's her. I mean, it's back to her body autonomy. It's not. It's her body. Let her make her money off of her body.
Yeah, she's the one in there taking
same
bumps.
thing about strippers.
She earned that black eye. She was in a fight, got a black eye, and a lot of, I mean, you see guys on their Facebook and Twitter, after they've been chopped and they have their shirt off and they're showing all the whelps on their chest, puffed out. Look at the battle I was in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's doing the same thing, but they're like, well, you can't do it because you're a woman.
And it just goes back to people thinking women are the weaker sex
Mhm.
and they have to be protected.
Right.
Well, any girls in the wrestling business, I know for a fact, you may want to say women are the weaker sex, but I've seen some pretty tough broads step in the ring.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna tell you what, the toughest girls I've ever been across in my entire life have been in the wrestling business. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
need to protect
I-
yourself from them, not the other way around.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
And
Yeah.
I have been, for most of my life, had women that has been strong influences in my bad decisions.
Well, that's all of us, I think. But
Yeah. Plus,
But don't tell me they're weak. They know how to control your mind.
yes, they do.
I've never seen a woman leave. I mean, not to say that it's never happened, but me personally, in all my years in wrestling, I've never seen a woman leave a ring crying, but I have seen a man do it.
Yeah.
And not just once, but I've seen a man come into the dressing room bawling his eyes out because somebody busted his lip or busted his nose.
Does it make me a bad person that picture is oddly
Erotic.
alluring to me?
I'll say it oddly erotic.
Yes,
It's because
it's the hair. It's not the eye. It's the hair.
But she's owning it. I mean,
Right.
she's owning it.
Yes.
She's saying, "Look at me! Look how tough I am. I took a beating, and I'm still here standing." That's not the picture of a victim. That's the picture of a fighter.
And I've got a slightly
proud.
wrinkled $5 bill somewhere in a drawer around here that I'm willing to bet that's a selfie she took herself.
Oh,
Yeah,
she did.
exactly.
She did.
Yeah.
She did. Yeah.
So
yeah,
she put it out there.
Right.
She owns it. She controls it. It's her decision. It's her thing. Leave her the hell alone.
Maybe if
And
maybe
as you
it
can
would be-
see, it's available up to 5X if any of you guys want to get it. And ironically enough, you can get it in, I noticed this, soft style unisex tank top.
Yes.
You can get it in the form of a wife beater. That's a joke from the 90s, isn't it?
What-
Google it, kids.
I would want a white one. You got to get it in white.
Well, it didn't come, that's the only problem. It only comes in black. See?
Oh,
Yeah. If you
oh
had
my
it,
God. Do you know who Chris Lee is from WXI? I think he actually did stuff in the wrestling business in Winston.
Yeah.
He was
I've heard that
he
name.
was- he was in
He worked
Mount
for us
Airy
some.
doing huh?
He did.
and
He
he was
worked
in
on
Mount
some
Airy.
shows for us. He done the
Oh.
sports down there.
Yeah. Well, he did a shoot in Mount Airy during the snow one time, and this guy was talking to him, and he looked at the camera. He's like, "I just wanted to say I don't think you should wear a wife beater out in the snow on Channel 12."
Oh my
Good
God.
for him.
Yeah, I was amazed. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I don't know when it was Dr. Bill who introduced me to that term. And I was just like, well, why do they always call it a wife beater? Just so the younger folks watching understand. He was like, well, the show Cops, right? The TV show Cops. And whenever they go to a domestic, it's like the dude they take away is always wearing a white tank top. So that's how I got the name wife beater. Rick Diesel, what you got there? Looks like a stand for a phone or a
What is this, Mr. Hagan?
I don't. It looks like something to put something to sit on.
You almost said it.
An iPad thing.
Yes.
Is this to make life easier for me in the back? Me and Kevin Phoenix.
Yes.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
Adjustable.
Oh,
Oh yeah, big time.
We got
There you go.
we just got to get the thing we talked about.
Already ordered.
Yes.
oh, man. So we're upgrading.
You ask and you shall receive.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
I am too. We're upgrading our production equipment now in our events. So you should notice that quality coming to the Roku channel and YouTube very soon.
You should notice stuff coming to the Roku channel a lot sooner too now.
Yes. We did, had a little hiccup with it, but hey, let's not abandon the YouTube channel either. I was going to just say, we're still out here, and we're
Well, there's some people that we only have one Roku in our house, so
When's the last time you watched? You checked out the channel? I was up at Ty Tyson's earlier, and he was watching his match with Benny Conley. I don't know. I guess it's ego.
YouTube.
But Ty Tyson, Benny Conley. That match was on. And I noticed down the corner it said 1,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
Is that accurate?
Give me a second. I'll check.
On the ringside.
We're checking our social media numbers right here live with you folks. I know it's compelling radio, but yeah,
yes.
YouTube.
Especially those listening.
Oh, Reagan, you'll be glad to know that I took a bag of cat food to the Tiny Tigers. That's so big I almost couldn't carry it.
Oh, yeah.
They were so
awesome.
happy. They thanked everybody from the AIWF.
Well, they're great. I hope they come back and
We're
see
trying.
us.
We're gonna try to get them down there on the 20th.
Did
For,
the dog food incident scare them off? That was the night of the dog food.
no.
Okay, that's good.
The girl that was there that came to the show was not there when I went by. But we're trying to get them down there for piggy bank, so that ought to be interesting.
1,000 views is correct.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
On your channel, buddy.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find the exact particulars because it's just saying 1K. Once it goes over 1,000, it shortens up. But let's see here. 800 and 1,000 views exactly. That's what it's saying, right dead on it. So if you're superstitious, man, tonight might be the night to play the lottery. But yeah, it's got 1,000 views.
Congratulations, Matt.
Yeah,
It's your channel, buddy.
Yes, sir. And we're also very proud that we went over 800 subscribers last week. We're up to 821 right now, and our goal is to hit 1,000.
Maybe we need to do something if we hit 1,000.
Oh, we're going to do something. All right. I just don't know what. I think we need to have some prize or some giveaway, but
I agree.
But we've got so many subscribers in India. I don't know if it's one of them. If it's somebody in a foreign country, I don't know what we could really do for them. So we might have
give them a gift certificate to McDonald's.
That's true. Those work just about anywhere.
Even India.
Yeah. I know a guy from India. But yeah. Go ahead, Reagan. I'm sorry.
They don't eat cows in India.
See, the teacher got it.
I don't know.
Well, but there's a lot of
tourist stuff.
Well, that and a lot of McDonald's and other fast food places cater to the local cuisine. Like there are things you could order in a Chinese McDonald's that wouldn't be in the U.S. or in several different countries. They have different things there. Like there's some McDonald's that have pizzas.
It says McDonald's does not serve beef or pork products in India, but other chicken. They have chicken and fish.
Yeah.
See, Google's so this is the problem I have with people on the internet. It's so easy to Google stuff. I Google something in 3 seconds.
Hey.
And sorry.
And I just want to say thank you guys for taking my joke and turning it all intellectual.
Well, I'm getting ready to go back to the Philippines in July, and you want to talk about like a McDonald's over there? They got all the same stuff they got here, but you can also get fried chicken and spaghetti. So and believe it or not, that sweet Filipino style spaghetti is pretty good. You wouldn't think it would be, but it is actually pretty good. But anyway, enough about that. So we might want to talk about wrestling here on our wrestling. But anyway, so the Britt Baker thing is kind of the big news this week, at least the last couple of days.
I saw people complaining about Cody Rhodes getting drafted not on the same show as
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. I did see that complaint on the internet
Well,
recently.
Let him
he had to go where the world title's at.
Yeah. And so that looks like
Would
it's
be
going
my
to, yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to go to Raw. I mean, Triple H said when they debuted the title that it was going to go, wherever Roman wasn't. So if Roman's on SmackDown, then the world title is going to go to Raw, which I think, I don't know if you guys saw the belt, but I thought it was beautiful. You know, I liked it.
Well, it does look like the big gold. I mean,
Mhm.
it's very reminiscent of that. That W right in the middle kind of,
Yeah,
I
kind of reminds me of the VW logo,
yeah.
just kind of stuck there on the.
Really? Yeah. I didn't think about it like that.
When I
but-
saw that, I was like, "Is that a Volkswagen?" I was like, "Oh yeah, WWE." But
It's a lot better than that damn spinning one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you talking about your new belt?
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it too.
I like
Yeah.
it. It's kind of a throwback to the old, big gold belt kind of.
You missed my. I already said that.
It's supposed to look like something to strive for. You know what I'm saying? Something that people want. So it needs to be flashy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it looks fine. I don't know.
I always lean toward less belts versus more belts. I think the more
Is this replacing something or?
No.
it's a new belt.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought maybe it is going to finally unify the two main titles into one world title like it should be.
No, unfortunately not. I was hoping that with Roman Reigns having this long title run with both titles that would unify them permanently, but it looks like those two, the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, are permanently unified and called the WWE Universal Championship, and this is going to be the World Heavyweight Championship and be defended by somebody else.
I don't watch enough. I don't like WWE. So do they still have the US belt?
Yes, Austin Theory's
They
got
have-
the United
Do they
States
still
title.
have the Intercontinental?
Yes, Gunther is the possessor
Do
of
they
that
still
right now.
have a lightweight
No,
no, okay. And do they have tag belts for each Raw and SmackDown? Like, is there SmackDown tag?
Yeah, they all have their own individual world or main titles. I
they
think.
do,
They have
but
a
the
world
tag team
team?
the tag team titles are unified too.
Okay.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have both the Raw and SmackDown titles. The Usos unified them, but they are stuck together now. So I don't know. I hope they don't do a new tag team championship because that's just too much. In my
I just
opinion.
feel like when there's so, I mean, in the NWA, I mean, there were some shows where they were like heavy. They had the NWA title, they had the world title, they had the junior heavyweight title, they had
What is
the
that?
Midwestern title. They got all
What are you
these
doing, Matt?
titles.
I don't know. I was
Like-
using a picture from Bleacher Report and an ad came up, so I had to get out of there.
I just think sometimes the more belts, the more it feels like some people are trying to be appeased because there has to be so many belts because it makes people mad that they don't have a belt. So let's
It's
have all
almost
these
like the
belts.
participation trophies.
Yeah.
What was the jobber belt in NWA? Was that the light heavyweight?
No, that
Or
would have
the
been
junior heavyweight?
Junior heavyweight. Yeah. Please don't
But
see,
it's
let
not the
anybody
jobber
in
title
Nelson
now,
Royals
but
family
back
hear
then,
you.
huh?
Don't let anybody in Nelson Royals family hear you say that. Because he actually brought prestige to that thing in the 70s. But I mean, that was the 70s. But go ahead.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about in the 80s.
But like in the 80s, I mean, I don't think it's the jobber belt now. I think they're with Kerry, because Kerry Morton has has that now, right? And I don't think but back then, it was definitely, but yeah, it just feels like to me when there's like all these belts, it's because we got to have all these belts because people want a belt. So let's make a belt for them.
Right.
But that's
I agree with that.
And
I think they should take the other two titles and combine them into this one title, which I like this belt, but I reserve my final decision on how much I like it until I see someone wearing it.
Mhm.
Because if it looks good around somebody's waist, then I like it. But if it don't, if it's too small or if it just looks a little awkward, then I don't like it.
Yeah, you know, a belt that's really popular with old school fans that I did not like was the Mid-South North American title, the one that Magnum TA had.
Oh, the
was
one all you
so-
can see was his feet and the top of his head.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Let me see if I can find a picture of that thing, man. Goodness sakes.
You got to get a picture of somebody holding it because it looked like they were standing behind a wall.
Yeah.
What was the one that had the actual country on it? Like United States, like
That was the U.S. title.
For
U.S.
what-
title
for
from
what
Crockett back in the 80s.
Yes.
okay.
And that is the only
70s and
title.
80s.
Yeah, that title, the only that is the only title that's lineage is still has been continuous since the time it was founded. So that's why if you ever ask me what's my favorite title, it's that one because it's the oldest with the.
That's the
continued
first
lineage.
title I ever seen that I can remember seeing that the actual strap was a different color than black
Mhm.
because it was
And I
red.
Yeah, let me see. Here's a picture of Magnum holding it. Let's see. Hang on just a second. I'll share it with you. Sorry for you listeners. Listeners, just bear with us. We're going to come up with like an alternative type
Buy
program.
Roku, you watch it. This is going to start going on Roku, by the way.
Let's see here. So,
Or go to AIWF Ringside Wrestling on YouTube.
yep, absolutely.
Sorry, Matt. I should have led with that.
Let's see. Okay.
It will get there quicker. You want to see it quicker? Go there.
Here's
Oh
here-
yeah, that's the title I was thinking about. There was like all the plates on it.
Yeah.
And
Man,
look at Terry
Look at Terry
Taylor.
Taylor behind it.
Yeah. That was a huge belt. And I don't know. I'm sure that's in the hand of some collectors right now. It looks like Brad Armstrong holding it right here.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I bet that thing weighed 25 pounds.
Every bit of it. Every bit of
What's
it.
better than the women's titles from back then? They were like belts, like actual. They were so small.
It looked
Mhm.
like a belt buckle.
The WWE women's title back with Lalani Kai and all them, like that belt was like this big. And maybe it's because they were so skinny, but they were just the tiniest belts. So
Well,
Let's see if I can find that. From back in the day. That's the one from the 90s. Here's Moolah with one. Is this the one you're talking about? Oh, that's not a very good picture.
right there, yeah, just pull up that one where she's kneeling. You can kind of see how small it is.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me go back. Get off here.
See her.
you want to see a little belt? Look at Buddy
Well,
Rogers.
look at the one with
wearing
Wendy Richter. I mean, look how small the one is with Wendy Richter there.
Yeah.
Those belts were tiny.
Yeah, and that was probably the mid 80s right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also wondering if they did that on purpose too to have to make the women's titles look less prestigious than the men's titles. It's like this is here, little ladies. Here's you a little belt.
That's
Well,
why
I think that's why they done it. Because the women, you're tiny women. Here's a tiny belt.
I
Because
think
it's a
the
different
WWE
time back then.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But I really like the women when I don't know if they're still the same titles, but the blue and red women's titles now they look like regular belts. I
Yeah,
mean,
they look like the men's titles, just downsized a little bit
Yeah.
to fit the girls better. But still, it was back in a different era. Back in those days when Moolah was the champion for like 30 years straight, promoters didn't really bring in the girls unless it was like for a big show or some special attraction, whatever. And you'd call up, because Moolah was basically the only way to book female talent on big shows back in the day. You'd call her up and be like, hey, can you come work for us, bring an opponent and maybe bring a girls tag team match? And, yeah, honey, how many girls do you need? Oh, 6 altogether for December 21st for a big Christmas show in Knoxville. And she'd quote you a price. You tell her yes or no, and that was that. And
then I guess you'd add the price for the extra stuff she made them do.
there's those.
You should go out in the barn on the farm there and pick her a few out and take them with her.
Yep. And a lot of that stuff that Moolah has been accused of since she passed away has been proven to be bullshit. So I'm not, going down that rabbit hole with what's true and what isn't, because we honestly don't know. None of us were there. So,
All I can say is at one time back in the 90s, I spent a lot of time with Bambi and Peggy Lee.
And did you have to call Moolah to get them?
No, I just hung out with them a lot.
Oh, okay. And so,
Yeah. I was in Kentucky playing darts with Bambi one night at a bar. She talked a lot. I mean, not Bambi, Peggy Lee. That woman could throw some darts, boy. I just quit. I'm like, shit.
wow. So there's a story we might not need to hear sometime tonight. Rick Diesel got toasted in darts by Peggy Lee.
Yeah.
Guess who's got a wrestling show on again? Speaking of, when you say Peggy Lee, I think of Peggy Lee Leather from Glow and Powerful Women of
Peggy
Wrestling.
Lee Leather's who I'm talking about.
Okay, I loved her too, by the way, because the way she could cut a promo like nobody's business and just make you feel so bad for her.
Tough old broad, boy.
But David McLean, the old owner of Glow and Powerful Women of Wrestling, after that, is back on television with something called Wow, Women of Wrestling, and I saw it on the CW last night.
Yeah,
I have to say it's a well-produced show. It looks great.
I hear that there's a professional sports team that's backing that some too.
Really?
Yeah, I ain't gonna say which one because I might be wrong and look like an idiot.
I know that I've watched some older shows of that on Pluto.
Mhm.
Pluto has a wrestling channel, and I've seen some WOW shows on there, but I didn't know it was on the CW. Now I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's got a real freaking Glow vibe to it. So if it's not as campy as Glow, but it's, you can tell, man. When I saw David McLean's face, I was like, oh, that's why it looks like this, And I'm happy to see him back doing wrestling again. He's been away for a long time. There was a rumor going around that it was going to be on CBS, but I think that might have just been fans because they did film it out in Hollywood. My understanding, and I don't know this to be true, so somebody, you can use Google or correct me in the chat, but my understanding is they may have filmed it at CBS Television City at those studios. And that's what gave people the idea that went to the tapings that it was going to be on CBS, but it is in fact on the CW. And I don't know when it airs in your town, but
I watched about 5 minutes of it when I was in Kansas.
Was it on Saturday night, like 7 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay.
It was on Saturday night in Kansas, but I like you said, it was pretty campy. So I went back to watching college softball.
I love fast pitch softball.
It is
awesome.
Actually really good.
Yes,
them
awesome.
Girls are hellacious athletes, man.
Yes, they are. I mean, they are. I'll tell you what. And if you ever want to see how brave you are, get one of those college pitchers, stand in the batter's box and have her pitch to you.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, when you see that big softball coming at you, if you don't jump out of the batter's box, you got better nerves than me, because I had a high school pitcher pitch to me when I was in high school one time, and I jumped out of the batter's box. It scared me to death.
I'd rather watch college softball than I had Major League Baseball.
I say it's more exciting.
I'd rather watch the Alabama, because they got hellacious pitchers. I'd rather watch them play softball than the Braves play baseball. Sorry.
God,
to me, baseball is just boring, but softball, I don't know, it's making it entertaining. Not a pervy thing, it's just they're hellacious athletes.
Softball translates to television better than baseball, I think, because I've had this talk with Brian before. I love going to the ballpark and watching baseball in person.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. But, on TV, sometimes if I've got the Braves on, I'm just kind of like doing something else and it's on in the background. I'll look up every now and then and see what's going on. But anyway, let's take a time out right now. We're well into the show, and I guess we need to read some commercial spots. If I can find the slideshow, where'd it go?
It's not that it's itching, Chuck. It's just I have a lot of nervous energy, even as an old man.
Is that Chuck King?
Yeah, he said I need to shave his beard off and then quit itching. But I just have when I do things, y'all know me. I have a lot of nervous energy. I'm all the time moving around.
Yeah, you don't stop.
I'm having to sit still for this thing, and it drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's just bear with me real quick. I'm gonna read a couple of ads to you and tell you how you can get in on this thing for just $10 a month. But Premier Auto Detailing is our latest sponsor. We say they can make that old jalopy look like it just rolled off the showroom floor. Now they do really great auto detailing. We've said, like, if you need grandma's car cleaned for because she's just not able to do it herself anymore, or you just want to you're going on vacation, you want to shine up the old pickup truck, we can do that for you, as well as fleet services. So if you've got a garage, or you own some type of business where you have, a lot of trucks going back and forth, sometimes, I don't know what, just some kind of fleet service, they do those type of jobs too. All you got to do is give them a call at 336-883-5722. That's 336-883-5722. That's Premier Auto Detailing, and they can help you from individual jobs to big old jobs for the used car lots, whatever, fleet services, individual jobs. They do it all. Premier Auto Detailing. Tees Creations Custom Apparel. They can custom make and do any type of t-shirt, sweatshirt, hoodie. They make tumblers. They do vanity license plates like you see here. And it's all available at teescreations22.com. That's Tees Creations with no punctuation, just tscreations22.com. Or you can go on Facebook, just type in Tees Creations. It'll take you right to the page. And you can contact them if you need something, a special job done for like a family reunion, or, any other type of event, baseball, little league baseball shirts. I can't think of any guy has got any other examples of what you can do, if you need
I know recently one of my kids went on a field trip, and they had shirts made for everybody that had, with the same color and had the same print. And so it was like it was one of the ways they could kind of keep up with all the kids, is have everybody wearing the same kind of shirt. That way, it was just one way that, to commemorate the trip and as a safety thing. So, if you're taking a bunch of kids like to the zoo or Carowinds or something like that, you can have a bunch of brightly made shirts up to help you keep up with them.
There you go. So yeah, if you're doing a big trip to an amusement park, there you go. But reach out to them, teescreations22.com, or on facebook.com at Tees Creations. And if you'd like to get in on this fun that we're having here and get some of the cheapest advertising rates in wrestling, I challenge you to come to us. You can reach out to us. We have our commercials here on Facebook on the live show. They go up for you on YouTube forever. $10 a month. So 4 weeks, you get a 4 weeks read, for $10 a month. If we take a week off, we're not going to bill you for that week. So, it's 4 reads for $10. Yeah. I mean, it's the best. It's the cheapest. And if you need us to come out and shoot a video commercial and put it together for you, we'll be glad to do that too. We're good at that stuff. Those are $20 for a week or $30 for a month. So we're definitely like Sam's Club or BJ's around here. Buying in bulk is the way to go with AIWF Mid-Atlantic Wrestling and all of our advertising platforms. You'll get to see this show on Facebook, of course, YouTube. We mentioned our ads on Instagram. And of course, this podcast is heard on all of your popular podcasting places, as well as Roku. You can reach out to us at AIWF20@hotmail.com, or reach out to me directly or Rick Diesel directly at the live events. Now, I'm trying to figure out a way so we can change the format of our audio program to be something different than what you're getting here on video. So when we do that, I will assure you that you're going to even get more bang for your buck, because I'm going to do the reads on the audio version too. So you're going to have, when we do split this up into 2 different shows, you're going to have your ads be here on the YouTube and Facebook, as well as still on the podcast platforms, but with different content to encourage people to listen over there. So I just got to figure out what we're going to do to make that happen. But anyway, so that's that for right now. We'll come back with more commercials later. Okay. Let's see.
So I have something I did want to talk about.
Sure, go ahead.
That's AIWF related.
Uh-huh.
So I've been keeping up with people's comments on the Don Carson tournament. And there were people talking about the Fighters Club being cheaters and how that they were going to win the Don Carson Memorial Tag Team Tournament because they're cheaters. And I pointed out that would be pretty fitting since TVA always won by any means necessary. So we need not to forget that Don Carson was a cheater too. I mean, I think he would be proud for someone like the Fighters. And I'm not saying they're going to win, but I'm just saying, like, don't forget, TVA was the Fighters Club before the Fighters Club.
Yes.
So
Yeah, they were the Fighters Club of the 90s. They were the group that everybody hated. They had the loudest mouths. The crowd, they were the ones that we had to hide in the back of the dressing room and wait for everybody to leave before they could come out.
Don Carson would say things to people in the crowd that would make them want to murder him. And it just hit me when people were saying that they were, TVA was responsible for some violence and for violence, for telling the crowd exactly what they thought and insulting them. And so this isn't a new thing. So, but it just occurred to me.
Yeah, and Don Carson almost had a near-death experience in Martinsville at the boxing center one time. Didn't they come out in the street after him or something like that? Rick Diesel, do you remember that? That was a long time ago, I know, but
I remember. I can't remember who it was, but there was fighting in the street. I feel like Don was involved, and a bunch of people come running down from a bar up the street because they thought there was a fight and they wanted to get in on it.
wow. Sounds like Martinsville, doesn't it? But anyway, so the first match, that's all we have announced so far. The first match of the first round is going to take place this Saturday night in Mount Airy.
It is going to be done a little different this year, from what I understand. They're going to announce the matches as they come up. Not going to announce it all. It's just like the next show there'll be another match, and then you'll see. It's per show they're going to announce the first round.
Yeah, so we will find out who's going to be, in the other brackets as we get closer to those matches happening.
Right. Yes.
All right. So for this time,
it is independent wrestling, and you might book somebody, and they might call you 3 days, a week before the show, and say, "Oh, I can't make it."
Yeah. I didn't know whether I should bring that up or not, but I'm glad you did, and I didn't have to.
I mean,
it happens. I mean, it does. Cars break down, and things happen. So, but
yeah, I get it.
And people get injured. So yeah, it's good to keep it open.
Right.
And it keeps that group from thinking ahead too far. So they can focus on each other and their match and not think about who they're going to take on after, which is a good thing to keep it fresh and to keep everybody on their toes, because they have to focus just on the May 6th match.
Yep, absolutely. So it'll be JJ Cerna and Logan Quindell against the Fighters Club. That ought to be absolutely spectacular. I'm looking forward to it. Another thing that's going to be happening this Saturday night is Justin Flash wants to talk to the fans and and apologize for not beating Jack and for the Fighters Club pushing his son. This is so odd to me. There was a lot going on in that match. You guys were there. I was not, but the way you described it to me, it was kind of out of his hands. His kid was out there and got pushed while he was back in the dressing room. He didn't know anything about it. So
you know how Flash has always hated to disappoint the fans.
Yeah.
He's always been the type of person that if he feels like the fans if he feels like he's let them down, it kind of gets to him. It's almost like it depresses him because he's such a perfectionist in that ring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess he feels like he owes him an explanation
He's
because
such-
there was a lot of chatter about what happened that night.
Yeah, and I would love to get that footage so we could get it up here and show it to you fans. But yeah, it's it's a weird situation. You're right. Justin Flash has always been self-conscious about that. So you can see him the first round match in the Carson tournament. No telling what else this Saturday night at Veterans Park in Mount Airy. Tickets for ringside are just $9 and $6 for the bleachers. But let's face it, folks, if you've ever been to Veterans Park, you know there ain't a bad seat in the house. Doors open at 6, bell times at 7 or so. And it's brought to you by King's Hot Dogs. And we're definitely looking forward to kicking off the month of May strong.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, because with Justin Flash, like I said, he definitely has no reason to apologize. That was an amazing contest between both men. It literally could have gone either way and almost did. So he definitely has nothing to apologize for, but if he feels like he needs to, then that's on him to make that decision. But I think the main thing is going to be addressing the Fighters Club and the incident with his kid.
Good guy guilt. Good
Right.
guy guilt.
Well, that, and I think, and from what I was talking to Flash about, I don't want to speak too much, for him and what he's going to say that night. But when I spoke to him about the incident, he was more upset about about something that was said to his kid than the actual physical contact. He felt that I'm not going to say what was said, but something was said to his kid that really upset him, and he felt that was more over the line than the actual.
Yes, I am. Let's see.
I don't know if
That's
that's
it.
what-
Oh, you better run.
Who was that?
Ginger.
Oh,
What you got me? Put your clothes on. Okay, you have to take them right back off again.
oh mercy.
Okay.
Talk about good problems to have right now.
There we go. Off the rails again. I'm sorry. It's always my fault.
That's all right. No,
Trying to make my cat famous.
yeah. Oh yeah, that'll help me remind me to do the Tiny Tigers Rescue read.
Okay, he's over it.
So here's another thing I'm interested in. By looking at this poster, it looks like Carson Kane is holding. Is that the new cruiserweight title?
Yes.
All right, and so
That was very weird.
It was. Did
so
you?
he pitched Clara out of the ring to win that match, right? So
Yes.
I sent Jack an invite to come on the show tonight, and he and Clara to come on, but I think they're wrestling. So
Yeah, there's a show here in Winston.
yeah, and so he messaged me back and said he couldn't come on, but I think he might be interested in coming on next week. But by next week we're gonna have some answers to our questions, because I feel like on Saturday night that's an elephant in the room, really. And
sorry.
no, I'm
I was
just
gonna
thinking,
say I got to meet his new, his assistant that night too. So he's just
I heard there's video of that. I haven't seen it.
yeah, there's some video that's out there of him with his new assistant, and he is, I don't know, he is off the hook right now to just
we're talking about Carson Kane, right?
Kane, yeah, like
okay.
he is I don't know how to put it without sharing too much, but he is quite into himself right now. It's Carson Kane for Carson Kane, it seems like. So
Well, maybe he felt like the attention that he felt like the attention he deserved was not being placed on him as being part of a faction. So but I don't see somebody being able to walk away from the Fighters Club without having to fight their way out. Like it's kind of like a gang, they jump you in, they jump you out. So I don't know how that's going to go.
Right, especially the way he the last interaction with him physically throwing Clara out of the ring. it's one thing if he went to them and was like, "Hey guys, this just isn't working out for me. We're going to part ways." But yeah, that was definitely not the way to part in a friendly way by double crossing one of the members.
Well, I mean, he threw her out of the ring. He could have went upside her head with a chair. I mean, because I know that's probably what Brian Danzig would have done, right? I know that's what Rick Diesel would have done. You know, hey, why didn't you just tell me you were leaving? No, you needed a chair across the head. I wanted the message to be clear. You know? I didn't want there to be any doubt that I was not satisfied with my station. But so anyway, I'm going to be interested to see that because, you know, Jack and his anger issues, I'm sure he is furious about that. And I know Clara's not a happy camper either because she would have loved to rub it in the face of everybody that she had won a title that has been historically mostly competed for by men. So you know, I know she would have loved that, but it didn't work out for her. And Casey Kane is the cruiserweight champion. And well, all these things are going to be addressed Saturday night, folks. So you do not want to miss it. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. And we would love to have you there. Again, doors at 6, bell time at 7, ringside seats are $9, $6 for general admission. Come on out. So what else have you guys got your mind on wrestling wise this week?
Oh, that guy that we talked about that set himself on fire is like in a burn unit, like steel. I read an article about it like yesterday. It said that he was still with 1st and 2nd degree burns in a burn unit. So, and it said that it was it said that he had done that spot before, but he blames it on being outside because of course he's not going to say I'm an idiot. So,
of course not.
But apparently he finished his match and then they had to call the ambulance, which then that's stupid too. If you're that hurt, don't keep going. But
yeah, because I can imagine like his skin was sliding off his body like the toppings on a pizza that's too hot. You know, I mean, I'm sure, God, because that guy was really on fire.
I know Chris Tenney was in the chat. I wish I'd brought it up earlier when he was still in the chat. I don't know if he's still in the chat or not to have him say what, you know, if he had heard about it. So, but yeah, I just thought as an update, since we talked about it, I had read an article that said he was still in a burn unit.
Let's see. Wrestler Masada sets himself on fire. Yeah, there's video of it here, but I don't see the video that we looked at last week is still here, which is quite impressive. So I guess we can show that to the fans again. Should I show it with sound? It's got some really panicked commentators that use a lot of bad
I would love
words.
to hear the commentary. Yes.
All right. So let me get this set up now, folks. Parental advisory warning. This is bad. And it's going to be let me try to adjust the volume so it doesn't blow your freaking eardrums out. But yeah, it does have some commentary on it. One of the views. Let me see your share screen.
Speaking of parental advisory, I think we should address the interview on Roku.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that after we watch this little clip right here. All right, take a look and listen to the guy that set himself on fire that is still in a burn unit.
Blowing fire. Oh! Poseidon's going to... No, he's on fire. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Somebody help him. We need help. Holy fuck. Blowing fire.
You know when you say the F word in commentary, shit has gone down.
Yes, it has.
I still love the fact that somebody threw a bottle of water at him.
Yeah, it's like the best part of that. Here, this will put you out. No, you're going to need a lot more water than that, and it needs to be open. I don't even know.
There's also a video somewhere of some guy like power bombing some dude off the side of the ring into some chairs and almost killed him.
Yeah, there's a lot of those out there.
Yeah.
If I go on
natural
Twitter,
selection is a wonderful thing in wrestling.
If I go on Twitter and just put in the search bar wrestler almost killed, let me see how many videos come up. Wrestler almost. Oh yeah. Well, no, surprisingly, no, okay, there's Nick Gage.
He almost kills everybody. He almost killed David Arquette, my God.
Yeah, I saw that. That was gruesome. Yeah, well, it's not as many.
You
as
watched the
think.
documentary?
What, the Nick Gage Dark Side of the Ring?
No, the You Can't Kill David Arquette documentary. Greatest documentary on wrestling ever made.
Really? That's saying a lot.
Dude, you need to watch that.
Where can I get it at? Where's it available?
I think I watched it on Prime, Amazon. It's called
Okay.
You Can't Kill David Arquette. Dude, I think I've watched it like 3 times.
Really? Wow,
Really
must
good.
be
It's David Arquette's journey to get respect in wrestling again.
Yeah. But I mean,
And the match with Nick Gage is actually on there.
they show the whole thing or just
They was filming it for the
Oh.
documentary when it happened.
so that was kind of like the dumb luck of the Bret Hart documentary. They just happened to be there when everything went down.
Yes,
Oh.
and then they followed him afterwards and everything, and his training with the guys in Virginia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he trained with some guys in Virginia that has worked with us.
Wow.
And he and the backyard when he first got back into it, the backyard show he went and done in a backyard. But the best is the stuff he did in Mexico. Well, they would literally stop traffic to do a wrestling match at an intersection. They would do match sequences, and they would stop traffic and get out and do chain wrestling in front of the cars while, and then they would run to the cars and take donations. David Arquette did that. God bless him. He's got a hold. I'd book him right now if I can figure out how to get in touch with him.
Well, he's got an agent, I'm sure. You just have to, again, Google.
Yeah, but after that documentary, I can't afford him. But we packed the house, man.
Well, and I think he was just in a Scream movie too. So
Yeah.
They did
Hey,
right. They did another
I
Scream movie.
completely lost respect for David Arquette. I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire like that dude. I wouldn't even throw a bottle of water at him in 20 years ago. But now I'd probably go jump on him with a blanket and say, "Stop, drop, and roll, David! Stop, drop, and roll!"
well, it's like it was one of those unfortunate things where it wasn't really his fault that Vince Russo made that decision,
Yeah.
but he took the brunt of Vince Russo's terrible story writing.
Yeah, but that was along the same
I'm
time.
telling you, if you have not watched it, you got to watch it.
I want to watch it because
Mhm.
I like David Arquette. I've watched some of his matches that
Courtney
he had.
Cox is in it.
Oh,
His kids.
that wrestling, like he had some matches of bar wrestling in California, I think,
Mhm.
that were really good and stuff. So,
Yeah. You're missing out if you haven't seen it. Now I've talked about it. I might go watch it again.
I'm looking on Prime right now, trying to find it.
You can't. It's either you cannot kill David Arquette or you can't kill David Arquette. I can't remember, but anyway, they tried to kill him and he didn't die.
Well, at the same time,
it's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
Is it Hulu? Is that what? Maybe that's where I watched it.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Yeah, if you pull it up
Matt,
on
you need to learn how
Prime,
to Google. You need to learn how to Google, Matt.
I'm Googling right here. I'm just looking.
But I already looked it up.
Well, I'm using my phone. You're using a full keyboard. You cannot kill David Arquette's for sale on Amazon, but it's not included.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Hulu.
Have Hulu. I don't have Hulu or Paramount, but I got all the rest of them. But anyway, so let's do some more ads real quick here. So yeah, take a break, Reagan. Now's the time.
Stay live.
The rest of you stay put though. Watch these commercials. So Branch Management was our first sponsor, and we're so happy to still have them with us. They are an awesome tree service that operates out of the Mount Airy, Surry County area of North Carolina. They do pruning, full tree removal. They can help get branches away from structures. Whatever your arborist type needs are, they can handle them. Their Branch Management, you could be eligible for $100 referral bonus for referring them. Like if you've got a neighbor that may need some tree work done or whatever, if you refer them and they call in and say, "Hey, JD down the street sent me, you might be able to get $100 referral bonus. So you need to call them for more information on that. It's 336-648-9282 or 336-920-8994 for branch management. That's for the tree service. But branch management also does landscaping, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, general contracting, handyman type services, if you will. That's a different number. That's 336-648-2487. That number one more time for the landscaping and pressure washing and general contracting is 336-648-2487. That's branch management, their first sponsor, and we certainly appreciate them. T's Treats is a food truck service that operates out of Mount Airy. They're available in most parts of the state and can have multiple locations at the same time. As you see me get my script over here, hot dogs, pizza, ice cream, milkshakes, and that stuffed crust pizza. Oh my goodness. Boy, people are eating that stuff up. Funnel cakes, about everything you can imagine, except that corn dog. They don't have those on the menu anymore. But if you'd like to find out more about availability, got mini donuts, you reach out to them at 336-755-8204. That's 336-755-8204. And you can always find out where they're going to be on Facebook.com/T's Treats. But I found out where they're going to be next Sunday, the day after the show in Mount Airy. Mount Airy's having a food truck festival next Sunday, May 7th, Rick Diesel, and they're going to be there. I even saw the map of where they're going to be. They're right down there on the corner across from a Snappy Lunch. That's a pretty good spot if you ask me. So be sure to go check out T's Treats at the Mount Airy Food Truck Festival next Sunday. They'll be at wrestling on Saturday night. And
Sparta on Saturday morning during the day on Saturday.
Oh, in Sparta,
North Carolina at the Fried Apple Festival. All right, here it is. I got it all out. I got it for you this week. All okay. Right. This week, T's Treat truck number 2 on Wednesday is supposed to be at the Econo Lodge parking lot in Pilot Mountain. Mm-hmm. On Thursday, at number 2 is supposed to be at the Dobson Town Square splash pad, Dobson Square Park. On Friday, number 1 truck is supposed to be at a flower shop in Pilot Mountain, I think. Saturday during the day, Fried Apple Pie Festival in Sparta. Saturday at night, the wrestling, and Sunday, the Food Truck Festival in Mount Airy.
Awesome. They're gonna be busy
this week, Matt.
They are busy, that's for sure. And we'd also like to mention, of course, we talked about cat food earlier. Our cat rescue in Surry County, Tiny Tigers Rescue. And look, Jimmy is featured Tiny Tiger this week. And this is one we said looked like Jimmy Love, right? And there he is. He's got that same expression on his face, doesn't he? Domestic short hair. And tinytigersrescue.org, and they are a no-kill shelter. Some cats are so wild and everything they can't be adopted out, but they take care of them here. But they do adopt out the ones that can be, and so you can visit their website. It's tinytigersrescue.org.
They had one up there when I went up there and took out food the other day that Miss Reagan would have just had a fit over.
Let's see if we can find him.
What color?
I'm looking for it.
We only have 3. I think we need 1 more.
No.
So we have the Horseman.
No, I don't think the one I was seeing is on there because it had longer hair.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because they've just got Creek, Batari, Jimmy, and Kashka, and Misha, Rousey, and Layla on here right now.
No.
I think the one I seen might have had longer hair. It may not have been in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I went to a place.
They may not have it up on the thing. I remember Creek there. I know what happened to Creek, so we're not going to talk about it.
Oh, okay. The one with the satellite dish there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know the story behind that cat. It's
please
rather heartbreaking.
Oh,
please
okay.
don't.
I won't.
Well, it looks like she's that cat's adoptable though. I mean, spayed, neutered, housebroken, vaccinations up to date. So that's important.
They said it's healing well. So
Okay. Awesome. So anyway, visit tinytigersrescue.org. You can donate. If you're in Mount Airy area, you can take food by there. Just give them a call. You can contact them here. You go over here to the contact us tab, click on the page here. Website loads up. You can contact a volunteer. You can contact about fostering, contact them about events, donations. If you need to surrender a cat, they got that too. You want to take the cat there. If you can't take care of your cat, take it to these guys because they'll take the best care of it and find it a better home. Not that yours wasn't a good home, but it evidently wasn't a good home for a cat if you're giving it up. So they can find it its next better home. So anyway, yeah, that's just about all I could say. It's tinytigersrescue.org. tinytigersrescue.org is the website. And again, they are servicing Mount Airy and Surry County and taking care of those cats. All right. So that's that. Any other thoughts? What else do y'all want to talk about?
time just went by fast tonight.
Yeah.
Rick
all right.
said something about the interview.
Oh, yes, the
it's
ROKU
up
interview.
on. Have you watched it, Matt?
No, not yet. No, it wasn't working last night. And so,
It's back up and working now.
all right, I'll try to go in there and watch it after we get done here while everything's
Parental
processing.
discretion advised. Due
Well,
to language and subject matter.
well, I would just say, if we're saying subject matter, I mean, because
They dig deep, buddy. They
we-
get into
I
stuff.
do dig deep.
does that mean sexual content? Let's just put it out
Yes.
there. Okay, all right.
Yes.
So
Yes,
It was Kevin Phoenix.
it was
yeah,
Kevin Phoenix and
It's funny that we just
Yeah.
had a cat rescue PSA and then we go straight into talking about rats. So,
yeah, I was not going to say. I was going to let you say it. So
Okay, I
yeah,
did.
we had an in-depth conversation about that,
Yes.
about rats.
You have not watched it, watch it immediately after watching You Can't Kill David Arquette.
Mm.
You
Oh,
might
man.
want to kill Kevin Phoenix.
I enjoyed talking to him. I started out pretty aggressive with him, but then I have to say by the end we were in agreement on some things.
I just wonder, Kevin Phoenix is an aspiring actor. We know he's been featured on the Righteous Gemstones on HBO. I just hope something like this doesn't come back to haunt him one day later on. When he's on a
Kevin
list,
Phoenix got canceled.
a casting director in Hollywood's like, well, I'll tell you what, Kevin, I think you'll be just great for this new Disney kids movie we're casting for. I think you're the right man for the job. Wait a minute. I just got a text from a friend of mine.
You let a woman eat dog food off your
What the hell is this shit?
I'm more worried about my new shoot job.
Oh, mercy. So yeah,
Well,
check that
I
out.
do say that Ray done a wonderful job. I know the only 3 people up before it went up on Roku, only 3 people knew what was in there. And when I watched it, I was like, so watch it. Reagan done a great job. I think we should have her do more interviews like that in the future.
Mhm.
I think that it was refreshing watching her get, I don't want to say aggressive, but she what's a good word? She didn't get
She's more
aggressive
hard-
with him, but she didn't back down. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
Reagan would be more of a hard-hitting type reporter. As to me,
Yes.
When I interview somebody, I try to hit them softballs. You know what I mean? And just and go easy on them.
Well, I can't hit hard in the ring anymore, so I
Yeah.
can hit hard and question people like Kevin Phoenix.
She gets all Jerry Springer on him.
Yeah, God bless
God
him. He
rest his
passed.
soul.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Jerry's television show, I couldn't watch it, man, because I could feel my brain cells dying as I would watch it. But I gotta respect the man for coming out of the straight news business and starting that talk show as a straight talk show in the early 90s. And then, he was the mayor of Cincinnati at one time.
Cincinnati, yeah. God bless him.
And so, but he was able, I think the thing that changed for that talk show, there was an acting troupe that came on there, and did this whole routine where the guy was cheating on the girl and she just burst into tears. It was heartbreaking when you thought it was real. And like the show found out about it afterwards and was just like, and was going to sue him. But then a light bulb went off in somebody's head and was like, hey, wait a minute. This was like one of our best received shows ever. Why don't we make this turn from a straight talk show and like give these people what they want? And I remember when I worked at the video store in the 90s, they'd come out with these Jerry Springer Too Hot for TV video cassettes that would have an hour and a half of footage uncensored on there. And they rented like hotcakes, man. I mean, people loved that stuff. So even though it wasn't my cup of tea, they gauged their audience and they gave them what they wanted. And they stayed on TV for a long time because of it.
And they used wrestlers.
Yes.
They would thank wrestling organizations maybe in the credits, like deep in the credits of the wrestlers that they used there when they took their turn.
Iron Sheik was on one.
Yeah, to their stuff. Like, but I mean like independent wrestlers.
Oh, really? I saw
Like
one where Razor Ramon.
Oh, yeah.
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 As some of the people fighting. So, so I thought one of my dad's really good friends had a girlfriend and he and her went on it and she was a dancer at Baby Dolls. And they went on Jerry Springer and did their fight thing. So I actually knew somebody who went on to do that and she was not attractive. But it was Baby Doll. It was Baby Dolls, though.
Baby Doll dancer wasn't attractive. She slipped through the cracks.
Yes, she stuck through the cracks, all right. But
No, she snuck in the crack.
Yeah. But anyway, the people that would go on there, they get a free trip to Chicago. They could put them up in a nice hotel and then give them like what, $500 or something like that.
Yeah. I think they made like $1,000 with both of them.
Yeah.
And they just go on there and I don't know how they got on, but did you ever see that? That might have been
audition for it. They had auditions for it.
Yeah. So he was real proud of that, the guy. So my dad had some interesting friends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jerry was a television legend, and all of us have been on TV before, and you may be not a big fan. Like near the end of the show, they totally embraced the trash TV. It was in their logo. It was something. It was certainly an anomaly, and I don't think you're going to see too many shows anymore that are going to be able to pull off what they were able to do for so many years and keep it profitable. It was just amazing.
Well, I think Reagan should take that as a challenge.
Maybe I should.
We'll just have her do some wrestling trash TV, man. She can just get in there and just ask these hard-hitting questions and just have a wrestler just freak out on her.
Yeah.
Just, oh my, you know what I'm saying? Just, it'd be awesome.
From furniture, yeah.
So, throw furniture at each other.
Whoever the program director is at WXII, what would you say to a live in-studio Jerry Springer-like talk show exclusive to Winston-Salem?
Yeah.
Maybe it might be something that gets picked up nationwide. It could, and make you all millions. Who knows? So,
well,
we can just do it on the Roku channel.
Or we could.
we can do it on the Roku until somebody picks it up.
Yeah, then WXI will pick it up maybe. If it gets popular.
We gotta have the numbers first. So
yeah, that's the real trick. So, but anyway, I think that's gonna about do it, guys. I don't have anything else that's burning on my brain. I just want to remind the fans to make sure you join us Saturday night at the park, at Veterans Park at 7:00. It's going to go down. We're going to hear from Justin Flash. We're going to see the first match in the Carson tournament this year. And what I'm really looking forward to is what is going to happen between Case and Kane and the Fighters Club. Oh my, it's certainly going to be very interesting and a lot more action. Some of the best wrestling around, come on out and see us, and we'll all have a great time. So any final thoughts before I let you go? Speaking of Jerry Springer, you got a final thought?
No, sir. I got to hurry up. I got my scrubs on. I'm doing an online gynecologist training. So,
all right. Well,
I got to sleep off this booze from last night.
Awesome. All right, so get those hangovers better. And so far, I normally do a Bob Cottle close, but I'm going to throw this in here this week because in memory of Jerry Springer. We'll see you next week, fans. So long for now, and take care of yourselves and each other. Goodbye, everybody.